Hockey fans, welcome to another episode of Pod Snipe Celly. My name is Dan Bradley, alongside me, Joel Fernino. Joel, a very happy Jesper Wallstedt NHL debut day to you and to all those who celebrate. How are you doing on this Wednesday night, my friend?
I am doing good. Clearly not as good as you are, but
I'd be doing better if it wasn't 1-0 Dallas already.
Yeah, by the way, who scored that goal?
See the
who scored
highlight.
that goal? Who scored that goal?
Jason Robertson.
As I predicted. For those who don't know, we have a group chat with me, Dan, and HP, who has been on the show plenty of times. And tonight they were obviously celebrating Jesper Wallstedt's, which we will get into tonight, his NHL debut, but it's currently happening as we are currently live. I could have that on behind me. I probably should have done that. Anyway.
You could, yeah. It's a TNT game tonight.
And I said, as a joke, all right, Jason Robertson hat trick incoming. Who scores the first goal of the game on him? Jason Robertson.
It's all your fault, and I will blame you for the outcome no matter what happens.
I mean, that's fine.
Actually, no, I'm not going to give you credit if the Wild win. I'm only going to blame you if they lose.
Nope, you're going to give me credit if they win, because I said he would start a game this year.
I mean, yeah, but I think we all kind of knew he was probably going to get a call up at some point just to get a couple games.
What's this shit? You got a mouse in your pocket?
We'll get to Jesper later in the show. I want to start off tonight with something that we talked about last week. USA.
Woo!
The USA U20 team won World Juniors gold. They put a beat down on Sweden that it was kind of close for the first two periods and really just broke it open in the third. Joel, we kind of talked about on last week's show that USA was the favorite going in, but if there was anybody that was going to be in position to stop them, it was going to be Sweden. And sure enough, that's what we saw for a final.
And they did
the whole tournament, really entertaining hockey.
Sweden didn't do much of stopping anybody on USA, so
they did for the first two periods, and then
Dan, how long is the game?
It's 60 minutes. Can't play 40.
Precisely.
So USA takes home the gold, beats Sweden in Sweden to take the gold medal. Joel, what for you was the biggest takeaway from World Juniors this year?
Outside of the fact that we represented the most of any NHL prospects on that team. We had 4.
There's that.
Yeah, that's my personal takeaway, but no. My takeaway is going to be as controversial as ever, and I love it. You can no longer put things that Canada is better at than the U.S. being hockey.
I mean,
the U.S. is taking over.
They took over this year. Canada's roster construction, as we talked about last week.
Are you really going to take this so literally, man? Come on.
I mean, I got to touch on this point that Canada was leaving arguably their best player at home. With Riley Heidt being left off the roster, WHL's leading scorer.
Macklin Celebrini was there.
Okay, touche. I'll give you that one.
Future Blackhawk. Macklin Celebrini was there.
I hate how right you are about that.
Nah, I'm probably going to be wrong. But it'd be kind of fun.
It's going to be him or it's going to be Yzerman and Cole Yzerman on Bedard swing.
Is that I actually never asked. Is there a relation there?
Relation how?
Oh, my bad. They spell it differently. Never mind.
They spell it dramatically differently.
Yes, I'm thinking YZ.
You were thinking Stevie Y.
Yeah, I forgot.
Yzerman.
Well, it's still Yzerman though, right?
It's Yzerman. They put the emphasis on the S.
Well, either way, yes, I'm excited. I don't know. That was my biggest takeaway. Like I don't watch the World Juniors that much unless it's like there's more hype around it. And this year there was a lot of hype around it, especially with how special this U.S. team was supposed to be, and they lived up to every tiny bit of that hype. So I really only watched their games mostly. I tried to watch a little bit of Canada, but That was it. I mean, it was fun to watch, man. It was fun to watch, and like, yeah, it got to be a nail biter. And then they pulled away. What was the final of that game? 6-3,
6-2.
6-2.
2.
Yeah, I mean, the takeaway is that the young revolution is still continuing in the next draft or 2 drafts.
I think for me, the big one is how elevated some of these countries that haven't historically done well at World Juniors are starting to do. I look at the Czechs, I look at the Slovaks, who good, but they're good for showing every 5-6 years. They're really putting together consistent programs. I look at a Finland team that on paper looked like, okay, this is underwhelming compared to what we've seen in the past. Probably not going to make too deep a run, and then they end up making the semifinals, where they really held it close with Team USA and had a lead for a good chunk of that game. And the idea that it may still be a couple more years before we see Russia back in this tournament.
Oh, yeah.
But once Russia does rejoin this tournament, World Juniors is going to be must-see TV year in and year out. Not that it's not now, but like to just kick it up that much more.
Oh, yeah.
It's really going to be special, fun hockey to watch.
Yeah, no, it's going to be crazy. I also had to follow. You talked about Slovakia. I had to follow my guy Adam Guyan. I'm hoping that that's our 1-2 punch in the future.
Could be.
If Comesso doesn't work out, we got Guyan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he
posted. I think he was pushing a 9.2. I think it was like a 9.1 something save percentage in this tournament. I just had it up.
I'll let you keep.
No,
looking it up there.
Where was he? Hold on. 9.16. All right, that was close.
Yeah, still good numbers.
Solid. 2.5 goals against. Played 4 games. Obviously, they didn't even make the actual playoff, did they? Yeah, they did. They got knocked out in the quarterfinals, I think, right?
Yeah.
And I saw he had an outstanding. That was one thing I feel. He had an outstanding game, but he had no defense. Sounds familiar to me.
Yeah, you've seen a lot of that.
Yeah, it sounds like Marc-Andre Fleury when he was here.
Going from one special and fun hockey event to another, PWHL, the P-Dub. People are calling
P-Dubs.
it P-Dub.
P-Dub.
Professional Women's Hockey League is underway and already setting some phenomenal numbers for viewership, for attendance. The Montreal at Minnesota game to start the season, 13,316 in attendance at XL Energy Center for that game.
Damn.
Joel, one thing that I am already so impressed by with this league is that despite some of the concerns about are they rushing through getting this league to the ice, the teams don't have full team names. It's just the cities for now. Some of the jersey designs being somewhat rushed and uninspired, and yet there's all this massive support. One thing I think they absolutely nailed is one site for every game. And there will be some games on TSN, some games on Sportsnet, ESPN. Every single game is available for stream on YouTube. That is something that I think coming out of the gates is phenomenal for this league.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's what you got to do. Like you need to make this available. You have to, like, yeah, some people would argue like, well, free on YouTube, like where's the money? Where's the revenue going to come in? Well, that's the whole point. You have to get this out. You have to bleed the money first before you can actually start taking in the money and taking in the profit. And that free on YouTube is going to do that. Everybody's on YouTube.
Yeah,
everybody's on
the
YouTube.
show is on YouTube.
Right. I mean, I have plenty of friends that are like, oh, I don't have cable. I just watch YouTube. And they rattle through whatever channels they subscribe to. And there's God knows how many. I mean, I had a phase where I would do it mostly to like, you know what? Side note, remember Epic Mealtime? I miss Epic Mealtime. Anyway. Yeah, I mean, it's huge and it's awesome. And I mean, yeah, like it's annoying to see the uninspired jerseys or the names that aren't really out there, but like, if you want to get it up and running, that also doesn't feel in a rushed way from a player perspective and like a, stadium perspective, like actually having places to play the games. Like that was all clearly done fine. If you want to figure out the image of everything as you go, I don't really have a problem with that.
By the way, interrupting for 2 seconds, they changed the scoring on the goal.
Oh,
it's now Joe Pavelski.
That makes more sense too.
So looks like 1-0 at the end of the first year.
Still plenty of time. Still plenty of time for Robertson to get a hat trick. Anyway,
not happening, but
Ducks.
Ducks. But yeah,
it's exciting, dude.
I had the ready, and then I had to reposition my deck. I had stick taps ready to go for the P-dub.
Come on, man!
I messed up the bit. My apologies to the PWHL. But off to a great start. Minnesota is actually playing tonight as well. So the Minnesota's PWHL team is at the X tonight with the Wild on the road in Dallas. So when you're done listening to this show, watching this show, go tune in, go watch that game.
Yeah.
It'll be good stuff. Cutter Gauthier.
Now we'll get to the NHL specific headlines.
I got to ask you about this one. Being that I have shut down Twitter and I'm not on Twitter anymore, I'm sure that it was just an absolute meltdown cesspool the last couple days as the details of the Gauthier trade that came out of nowhere, frankly. I don't think this was something that pretty much anybody had on their radar, even in Philly.
No.
And the reactions from everybody, Drysdale being someone, let me back up for 2 seconds here. The trade was Philadelphia sent Cutter Gauthier to Anaheim for defenseman Jamie Drysdale and a second-round pick. That's Drysdale was a player who was taken in the top 10, I think, 3 years ago. Might have been 2. I think it was the let's see, was it the 21 draft or the 22 draft? It was the 21 draft. So almost 3 years ago, but was taken in the top 10. Went to Anaheim. Gauthier, a top 10 pick as well. Had not signed his entry-level deal yet with Philadelphia. Currently just tore it up at World Juniors, was tied for the leading scorer with 12 points over 7 games, 2 goals, 10 assists, had a phenomenal showing. But it sounds like he may have been ducking some of the Flyers staff who went to Sweden specifically to go talk to him at World Juniors and try and get a deal done there, see what his interest was in Philly. This was a really quick move to go from the end of World Juniors to he's out the door into a new team to hold his rights.
Yeah. It was kind of, I mean, we know it was out of nowhere. Yeah, you being off Twitter, it became, I don't know how you can get more toxic than it already is, but it got pretty damn toxic.
The T in Twitter stands for toxic.
It really does.
And there are 3 of them, which should tell you what you need to know.
And the X that is actually named, it's just a variable that stands for toxic. Anyway, see, then I threw in a math joke. But yeah, so I mean, just to fill in everyone, like obviously if you are living under a rock as a hockey fan, I guess. So yeah, Cutter Gauthier was traded to the Anaheim Ducks for Jamie Drysdale and a second-round pick in 2025. But then all of a sudden everything started popping up. Like you said, it was people in Philly didn't even expect it. And I commented Jesse, our guy Jesse, or Sam. I think we need both of them to chime in here on the Philly market experts over there. But from my perspective, just reading everything, like they were thrown off and thrown for a loop and didn't even know what the hell was going on. Then Twitter got set ablaze because obviously it starts to come out that, like you said, he was ducking flyers.
Grew up as a Penguins fan.
Right.
Has repeatedly said Sidney Crosby was his favorite player growing up.
Right. And he didn't want to play there. And it was a combo of that. And then you got some of the articles coming out of the Flyers kind of retorting on that. No pun intended. No Tortorella pun intended there. Saying like, well, fine, we don't want you anyway. Like, and it became this kind of petty back and forth thing. Then comes the weird shit of this. I don't know his name. And there's a video up of a Flyers. He's a broadcaster. He's not, I don't know if he's like their play-by-play guy. It was a video of he's sitting at a table. So it's clearly like their local, maybe one of their local broadcast guys. Again, our local Philly fans, if they're able to tune in, they'll be able to fill you in more. They can fill us in. But he said something that it was just totally untrue, where he basically was like, I talked to people close to the locker room, and he pauses and goes, yeah, Kevin Hayes' fingerprints are all over this. And I'm like, Kevin Hayes is a Blue. What?
Yeah,
like,
what does he have to do with any of this?
What does Kevin Hayes have to do with any of this shit? So then surfing Twitter, you see the toxicity you just see the toxicity of man, because apparently after that, you got the angry, rabid, regular Philly fans going after Kevin Hayes. And it's like, the guy is in St. Louis. What the hell did he do? Like, he is hundreds and hundreds of miles away from your city and your team. He hasn't been on your team. Like, what is going on? And basically you see like,
because Hayes got moved this offseason.
Yeah.
And I didn't think there was any lingering tension or bad blood there in any way.
Right.
Just seems really odd to out of nowhere bring Hayes into it.
Yeah. Like Kevin Hayes responded to, like he said, like people were like condemning him, sending death threats to him and his family, saying they're happy that his brother Jimmy is dead. Like, it's some morbid shit that people were sending. It is morbid. So first off, on that note, in general, if you're a person doing that to somebody, saying all that stuff on the internet, Mr. and or Mrs. Keyboard Warrior, that's too afraid to do anything in person.
First name, bunch of numbers.
Yeah, we should start revoking people's internet access. And I don't care if that sounds dystopian as fuck, because people clearly deserve to have their internet access revoked when you're doing stupid shit like this. Yes, I'm angry. Like, that shit pissed me off. And you know it means something when I'm defending a St. Louis Blues player. But at the end of the day, it's a team that I dislike for a rivalry. These guys are human beings.
Yeah,
except for Tony DeAngelo, he's not a human being, but
he's also not with Philly or St. Louis, so there's that.
So yeah, exactly. But it's maddening. And Kevin Hayes came out and was like, I don't know what the hell, and it's all because this one guy, and this is the way media is. They have to get the clicks, they have to get the attention, no matter what the hell you say to get it. Not everybody does that either. Plenty. You and I both know personally and follow plenty of people that don't do that in the media. They do it with integrity. There are still many of them out there. Go follow them. Don't follow the douchebags like this guy who on a broadcast says something stupid, but the half-witted morons on Twitter or X or any other platform are going to hear that, not do any fucking research, and believe it right away. And that's what's going to happen, and you're going to get the clicks, and yippee, you got your fucking 15 minutes of fame now. It's ridiculous.
We got Mateo jumping in here.
Mateo, my guy.
Between periods of the Wild game. Appreciate you jumping in, Mateo. I think Cutter could have handled the communication better with the Flyers. That's Flyers organization went too far. Yeah, they've kind of put him on blast.
No, totally.
Torts,
I'm not saying both sides are in the wrong here. Like
confirmation bias is a hell of a drug. Yeah, oh boy, got that one right.
You don't say.
John Tortorella said something like, "I don't know Gauthier from a hole in the wall," like in typical Torts fashion. Like he said it that well. We got Mark jumping in
Mark,
here.
You're here.
Mark, we're going to talk about your bees a little later in the show. Stick around for that.
We are.
But keeping it with Gauthier and the trade here, do you think either side comes away from this trade as a clear winner or clear loser of the trade, or is it still too early to tell on that one?
I'd honestly say it's too early to tell. I mean, it's like, how old is Jamie Drysdale?
He's 21.
Okay,
he
so
was
the
6th overall pick in 2020.
Right. So they're similar-ish in age. Gauthier's what? 20? 19?
He's 19. Is he 19 or is he 18? He just
if he was at the World Series,
just got drafted last year.
Right. So
22 is a draft to go.
Okay. And he was just at
he was just a World Junior. So yeah, he's 19 or 20.
Okay. So
I think 19.
Similar in age. Forward versus defenseman. I mean, obviously it's different everything, right? But like, I don't know. It's almost like you got to probably just wait for all this dust to settle, which I'd argue it's starting to settle a little bit already. But I don't actually. It's too hard to tell right now. And what's actually, and you bring up a good point, even asking that question, because like none of that, like because of all of this random smoke, all this tornado smoke, like I don't think we've even seen a comparison of the actual like on ice play trade much. If it's out there, I'm sure it's out there, but it's getting, shoved down the feed with all this other crap going on.
It is still early in Drysdale's career, and defensemen, right. They take a while to develop. They take longer to develop than forwards generally do.
Yeah.
Drysdale missed a bunch of time last year with an injury. He was also a little bit banged up this year. 8 goals, 37 assists through 123 games in his career. So he's putting up numbers to a degree, but on a team that was really bad the last couple of years. That's why they were able to get him at 6th overall. That was a team that picked 2nd overall in the draft last year. Mateo's saying Anaheim got the better player and they win if they can keep him. That's the other thing here is does Gauthier sign in Anaheim now? Like if I'm Anaheim, I'm getting on the horn and I want him to sign, he's not going to play this year, but I'm on the phone working with him to say, hey, let's get you here. Let's get you signed.
Yeah.
And have you with us at the start of training camp next year. Because you put Gauthier on Leo Carlson's wing next season. That's a fun hockey team to watch if everything stays healthy and they work out. If everybody stays healthy and everything works out.
Yeah, and to me, this is just like the specifically prospect rich team got richer. I mean, Anaheim is one of our top, one of the top farm systems. Whether they're playing this season, whether they're still waiting in the wings, like they are one of the top prospect or top farm systems, and it just got stronger.
So much talent coming their way. Mateo is saying that he will play at the end of the year. He said on a podcast that he's going to sign at the end of the year. So makes sense.
Of course.
Gauthier should be NHL next year.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. And rightfully so. It'll be, in my opinion, it's probably better for him too. He's going to be on a more fun of a team. Look, you and I, we like Torts, but for more fun reasons. I know he's not exactly easy to play for, especially when you're a rookie. So, maybe Gauthier's got it better. And maybe he's excited to get the hell out of there. And hell, you literally flip coasts. Like you're good. Yeah. You're as far away as possible now.
Oh, darn. I've got to go live in sunny Southern California in the off season.
Wow. It's crazy. He can go watch Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah. Joel, I hate to bring it up.
You couldn't lead up to it. You just pull the banner right.
Isn't it easier that way to just rip the Band-Aid off rather than the slow peel, death by 1,000 paper cuts?
Yeah, death by 1,000 paper cuts.
Just shoulder to the jaw and get it over with.
Okay. All right. Listen, I am going to find you and I'm going to do things.
Save that for after the show. Well, we only get so much explicit we can get away with here.
For anyone listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Wait, hold on. Before we even get into it, we gotta. Here we go. Let's catch up with some of these. Let's fucking go with the bees talk. Of course.
Yeah, that's coming.
Mateo with an interesting tidbit too before we move on.
Mm-hmm.
Also said whatever happened is between him, his family, and agent. And that's as far. And that's how it should be, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you know what? This is a good way to lead into it. This is not how Mateo wanted Brock Faber to win the Calder. Yes. So anyone listening who doesn't see our banners, Connor Bedard is officially now out 6 to 8 weeks with the fractured jaw. He suffered from the hit, the shoulder to the mouth by Brendan Smith. He is public enemy number 1. I want him found and brought to justice, and he should be in jail for the next 85 years.
For a clean hit.
Yeah, it's a clean hit. I will sit here right now as a Blackhawks fan and tell you.
I want to make sure that we were very clear about that.
It was
not a dirty play. It
was a clean hit. He's a little taller. Bedard had his head down. He had his head up. He put it down briefly, and then when he brought it back up, it just was the bad timing. He was going through center ice. It's
because he's too small, and you should have drafted Fantilli.
Yeah. No. Our super tall center is waiting to be drafted this year, and that's who did I want again? Lindstrom.
Lindstrom.
Yeah.
Some are already listing him at 6'5". Realistically, he's like 6'3".
Mark, exactly. Shots fired.
Yep.
I'll let Dan get the shots.
That's the unofficial subtitle for this show. That's our main name is Snipe Celly. Shots fired would be like a second name.
Dan, it's okay. I'll let you fire all the shots you want. Do you know why? Because I have Connor Bedard and you don't. Anyway.
I mean, I can't dispute that. You can take all the shots you want, and Jesper Wallstedt is going to stop them all.
Really? He didn't stop Joe Pavelski's in the first period.
You're not Joe Pavelski.
I'm not. I'm Joel. Joel. But that's a good segue because even though, yes, we do have Connor Bedard, we will not have him for the next 6 to 8 weeks. He successfully had surgery today.
Calling up the numbers on my phone here because I texted you about this earlier, the Calder race.
Oh, the Calder race. While you're pulling that up, I'll pull up just the updates of like his status. So Luke Richardson actually did speak today and said, I actually had the quote. Let me find it.
While you're looking up that quote, I'll tell you, I kind of projected out what the 8-week timeline would look like. 8 weeks out, if that's the further end, would have him back March 5th. So far this season,
the 8-week time frame.
8-week time frame. Bedard this season, 15 goals and 18 assists, 33 points. Assuming that everyone else, all other rookies, stay at their current pace and produce at that same pace through March 5th.
Is Fantilli still in second right now?
Fantilli is third.
Oh,
Marco Rossi.
There you go.
Marco Rossi would be at 19 goals, 19 assists, 38 points. Reminder, Bedard is at 33. Fantilli would be at 16 goals, 19 assists, which would be 35 points. And Luke Hughes, 11 goals, 26 assists, which would be 37 points.
That's good.
By that most liberal of estimates in terms of the time frame, he would be about 5 points back of the lead when he comes back. And that's if he takes the full 8 weeks.
Well, and that's
I get it. Hughes is having a solid season with New Jersey and is starting to put up some points. Marco Rossi, despite all of the injuries with the Wild right now, I threw this one out to you guys earlier that the Wild are basically rostering a team tonight that has almost 46 million in unavailable players. with all of the injuries that this Wild team has.
And we relate that we both are in a kumbaya acoustic guitar fire circle right now with our teams just being obliterated with injuries. We just had I think it was about 38.5 million or so on IR or something like that. And we just were like we basically, by the way, I'm taking shots at Calgary. Shots fired again.
Oh, we'll always take shots at Calgary.
We'll take shots at Calgary. Basically, the Rockford Ice Hogs, featuring maybe 3 or 4 actual NHL players, beat the Calgary Flames right after Bedard got injured and was out because it was a back to, I think it was the second leg.
Second leg.
Yeah. So he got injured against New Jersey. We go to Calgary and we beat them with literally the Ice Hogs. I actually think Soderblom started that night too, and he actually played well for once this season too. Like it's hilarious. Calgary is fucking bad. They are. You lost to a team that has 8 of its original top 12 all out on IR. We can go into that more, but yeah. So I did call up the quote here though. So per Ben Pope, go follow Ben Pope if you're in Chicago. He's amazing. He's the Sun Times guy. He's amazing. Richardson on Bedard's 6 to 8 week timeline. They are just being precautionary on a young guy having a trauma injury like that. If it's earlier, great. But I think that's probably a normal timeline for what they were thinking of the procedure that they did on him. So to Mateo's point here of being surprised it's lasting that long, it sounds like it's a conservative thing. I've heard originally, I think it was slated for 4 to 6 weeks was like the estimate, but they're just being precautionary. Like he's 18. The Hawks season isn't going anywhere anyway. Like they're not going to rush him back just to win a piece of hardware. Yes, I want him to win the Calder just as bad as any other team wants their rookie to win the Calder, but like I don't want him to rush back just to win Rookie of the Year.
And I think as well, if they're able to put him on long-term injured reserve, not that he has a massive contract, but even more cap room that the Hawks can use at the deadline and act as brokers and bring in extra draft capital while they're working guys around. They got to do it.
Not to mention the guys at the CHGO Blackhawks podcast have been calling for this since we drafted Bedard, like literally since the offseason. And I'm all for it because now we are so injured. We got guys coming back now. I think I was at the game last night. That's why we're on Wednesday tonight. I was at the game last night. Taylor Radish made his comeback last night from IR. I think Joey Anderson as well came back last night as well. He played, but I think last night was his first game back. So we're starting to have people come back. Samuel Savoie started skating again too, which is nice. Young guy that was supposed to maybe make his NHL debut this year. But anyway, and where I'm going with this is we need to, sign people. We traded for Rem Pitlick.
Yeah.
He played last night. Rem Pitlick was on our top power play line last night, which is hilarious.
Where he belongs. I will go to war for Rem Pitlick. Former Gopher.
Now is a better time than ever. Kyle from Chicago. Kyle Davidson, you pick up that phone. You call Phil Kessel right now.
Sign Phil Kessel. Get him paid. Get him some conditioning. Somebody trades for him at the deadline. Yeah. I don't hate it.
Not to mention, obviously this would overshadow this, but after that, Nick Foligno is also out for a few weeks with a fractured finger for beating the shit out of Brendan Smith for the hit.
That was a good scrap. And
that's the best hockey injury ever, by the way. That was a good scrap.
I don't necessarily like when players are made to fight for a clean hit, but I also understand this is a team that is protecting their young superstar.
It's one of those, and I had an argument with hold on. Let's pick up. I agree. Pitlick has to be one of the best hockey names. Absolutely.
It's up there. Redak Bonk is always going to be my favorite.
Luke Hughes is a defenseman that's currently bad at defensive ducks.
He's still learning.
Yeah.
There's a learning curve, but the points are there. And if he becomes the shutdown defenseman, we think
Joey chiming in. Our Braves, go Braves, are currently playing their game right now. He's watching them, but tears about Connor was the hit. Oh, in and out today watching the Braves game. Tears about Connor. Was the hit dirty? That's been a debate. My perspective is no. Yeah, I mean that's
not.
It's no. Honestly, if you're saying it was dirty, you're just overreacting and crying about it.
You're mad that it was Bedard.
Exactly, and I'm mad that it was Bedard, but it wasn't a dirty hit. It just you got to keep your head up, and he's 18. He's going to learn that, and he's also only 5'10". So he'll figure that out too. But yeah, I mean. I'm with you. We were talking about the fighting after it. I'm with you. Like it doesn't I've seen fights happen from like total normal hits. No one got hurt. It was fine. It was just like a whoa, big hit, but everyone's okay. But the thing is, I'm okay with this one because you're right. It's protecting your star. It's taking liberties, not necessarily to say, don't you dare hit our star players. It's more, don't you dare think you're going to take runs at our stars and not answer the bell.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like a keeping your ass in check type of thing. It's not like no, we need this removed from the game type of fighting. It was just like you're going to pay for this. We're standing up. I think they were losing at the time too. So you get the bench and the crowd going, like they were away, but still you get the bench going. Like I was fine with it. I love Nick Foligno. Put the C on him right there. But yeah, so 6 to 8 weeks. I don't know. I don't think he's going to win it anymore. But again, I'm not going to rush his ass back just to win a trophy that's an individual trophy.
Jesper Wallstedt. It's Wallstedt.
On to another from one rookie having to sit for 6 to 8 weeks to another rookie who is currently in his first ever NHL game in his second period.
Yeah, 15 and a half left in the second. Wallstedt has stopped 12 of 13 tonight. The Wild have only put up 8 shots on goal. I could not be more excited for Wallstedt's debut. I will forever thank Edmonton for trading down on draft night to give Minnesota the pick to take Wallstedt, knowing that he was sitting there, knowing how bad. Oh, right on cue. There's a Matt Duchene goal. It's now 2-0 Dallas. I'm starting to hate
I'm
this
sorry.
guy.
I'm sorry. Come on. He's a rookie.
I was going to get to this, and sure enough, that right on cue is the lead for the lead in for what this point was going to be. They are really throwing Wallstedt to the wolves here with a game on the road in the middle of a losing streak with all of the injuries that they've had. And I get it. Like, you needed somebody to play tonight. It probably should have been Zane McIntyre if they were going to give Fleury the night off, which it looks like they're doing. They've also got a back-to-back this weekend, Friday, Saturday. And my dad texting me right now and saying Wallstedt's getting no help from the Wild defense. Yeah, it's because they're not playing their usual defense. They have so many guys out. Spurgeon out, Brodin out, Kaprizov out. I don't know if Foligno and Johansson made it in, but they were game time decisions. So even if they're in, they're not playing 100%. Mateo saying awkward bounce.
Yes.
He was really thrown out to dry. I feel like if they were going to do it, they really should have made it at home and not against, honestly, what might be the Wild's biggest rival right now. Like, yeah, the rivalry with Chicago is still there. Yeah, we hate Colorado. Yeah, we hate Winnipeg. The Dallas hate is always going to be there. And after they really embarrassed us in the playoffs last year and embarrassed us the other night, so that you're now playing this team 2 games in a row, they shut us out 4-0 in our barn, and now they're shutting us out in their barn. Wild have 1 5-on-5 goal in the last 3+ games. To me, this was a rough situation for Wallstedt to make his debut. And it sucks that, it probably should have been former
Providence Bruins netminders
Zane
Zane
McIntyre.
Mark chiming in there, yeah.
And we got to interview Zane last year on Beauties. Zane is a phenomenal interview and a great dude. Love that guy.
Joey with not an ideal situation, but on the flip side, if he gave up a lot of goals at home, would the fans turn on him? I don't know.
I don't think so. This fan base is so excited for Wallstedt, and they realize like he is not the problem with this team right now. He is not expected to be the answer to all of the problems with this team right now. I think it's just celebrate the rookie, give him a home start. He's going to get a home start this weekend. But looking at that Wild schedule now and what you've got coming down the pipe, they will play the Philadelphia Flyers on Friday. And then they have the Arizona Coyotes on Saturday. Not to discredit either of those teams, Dallas is the best of those three, and it's not super close. If you're asking me which of those games I'd give Wallstedt the start, probably Arizona, maybe Philly. I did not feel great about it when I saw that he was going to get in. I'm excited for him. I'm happy for him. And Wallstedt is still going to have a great career. But to me, this was about a game too soon, maybe two.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm with you guys. Like, it is tough throwing him to the wolves like that, but let him do it now. Like, goaltenders need a lot of time. We talked about it, like forwards versus defensemen. Goaltenders are their own category too. Their primes aren't till way later in their careers. So he's young. Like, he'll be fine.
Also, if you really wanted just the good vibes all the way around, Saturday night will be Matt Dumba's return to XL Energy Center. Dumba still very much beloved by Minnesota Wild fans. Really sucked to
still wanted him.
I know you did. For the on ice and the off ice, you wanted him.
Yeah.
So that could have been a big game as well to get him in and just good vibes all through the building that night. But yeah, Dallas has the Wild's number right now.
Well, Dallas is also one of the best teams in the league. So I mean,
they're a good team, period. They own the Wild. The Wild special teams can do nothing to stop on the penalty kill or to score on the power play against Dallas. They
quite literally. They do quite literally own you. They used to be the North Stars.
You shut your mouth. Kick the stick.
You know whose jersey I want? Norm Green.
I will strike you.
I'm just kidding.
If you want to get striked.
Hey. I mean, I wasn't alive. Was I?
No,
I wasn't. So like I don't think any of us were really alive for the. Were you?
When they moved? Just barely.
No, I'm talking for the old Hawks North Stars rivalries.
The very end of it, yeah.
Okay, so I mean,
but barely.
I was what, one maybe?
No.
Oh, not even. Oh, okay.
Not even.
Yeah. Okay, so
they moved in '93.
Right. So I wasn't even born yet. So, but I'm saying clearly I'm joking because like I would love for the North Stars to still be around because I know the history of that and it was amazing. Dino Cicerelli can fuck off. Violence on the pod. There's always violence on the pod.
All hands throwing hands tonight.
Speaking of throwing hands, I'm kicking your ass in picks.
You know, you are on the all-time leaderboard, but on the season leaderboard, we're tied, baby.
We are.
3-1 week for me. Thank you to the Colorado Avalanche for winning in overtime last week.
Oh, yeah.
Giving me the dub in that one. So I went 3-1. Joel went 2-2. On the aggregate, probably our best week of the season for picks so far. We're hopefully finally starting to get some sense of how these teams really do stack up against each other.
No, we're not. Hockey's dumb.
But hockey's so dumb.
Hockey's dumb.
Hockey betting is hard. It's really tough.
Yeah.
And it's even tougher when we do it on the pick segment here, where sometimes we'll pick a team just to be different and not go the same on all three.
Literally, I had it last night. We went to the game, and I was like, the Oilers and we're going to talk about the Oilers here too. The Oilers, who are on a 7-game winning streak going into last night, now they are on an 8-game winning streak. So they were seven wins in a row heading into the United Center last night. Connor McDavid, 10 points in 5 games. Heading into last night, he got another point late. He got a goal last night, so 11 points in 6 games. I bet on a Connor McDavid hat trick, and I hedged it with just him getting 3 points. Neither of them hit. He only got a goal. The goal was beautiful. By the way, God, I think that was the first time I got to see him live too.
We don't appreciate, like, watching on TV how fast he is.
And just how fast but explosive is the better term there. Like, he is so explosive. He's just a video game character. Like, he's not going to, like, you're not going to strip him. You can't do a damn thing, but you can just try and stop him. And I'll give Peter Mrazek a credit. He stopped him a couple times. But this is why I'm saying,
who I would put, like, their first 3 strides.
Oh,
like, no. I would put, like, Larkin, McKinnon, and that's probably it. Those are, like, the only guys who I would say, like, their first 3 steps really come close.
And you know what? This is my point here with Mark saying, careful, the Yotes beat my Bruins last night. Right. The Yotes beat the Bruins last night.
Anybody can be beat in this league.
The Hawks went up first. Jason Dickinson had one of the prettiest toe drag goals of the year. And I'm like, yes, people are like, who the hell is Jason Dickinson? Yeah, no one knew until this season. He's going off. But anyway, we were up 1-0. We only lost 2-1.
Yeah.
I was so sure we were going to get our asses kicked. And we hung with them all 60 minutes. Like, hockey's dumb. It just happens. It was great for me to watch, but let's move.
Mark, I think we teased you long enough here.
We did, Mark. Let's talk about your Bruins.
Boston Bruins -113, Vegas Golden Knights -106. This is, again, so close to, we had that split last week where Vegas and Florida were -110 each way. This one, it's a slight lean to Boston on the road.
Yep.
Not a whole lot to separate these clubs.
Not at all. It's tough to call. It really is tough to call. My secondary boys, what are we? We're 23-12-5. But currently they're in their last 10. They're having a bit of a rough patch at 3-7-0. And I mean, part of that rough patch is including the Winter Classic where they got shut out. Bruins, on the other hand, but Bruins 5-3-2, better, but still 500 basically in their last 10.
And 2 losses in 2 consecutive road games. 4-3 in both games. So, like, they're playing close, but
they both
4-3 loss at the Avs and 4-3 loss at the Coyotes.
And they were 2 consecutive overtime losses too. So, like, getting the points still, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Never mind, Winnipeg too. I was going to say they're the only ones with single-digit losses, but Winnipeg also only has 9 losses. That's a coin flip. But what have I said? The hardest barn to play in right now is the Golden Knights Stadium. We go to this, right? So the Bruins road record, very solid, 12-5-5. But Vegas at home still, even in this skid, they are 14-4-2. I'm rolling with my boys. Give me the Golden Knights. Sorry, Mark. Which scares me too, because I think that's a heart pick, because the Bruins have lost 2 in a row in overtime, but 2 in a row. I don't think they're going to lose 3 in a row. But just to be different, I'm going to pick Vegas.
Give me the best team in the Eastern Conference. Give me Boston. I like that road record, 12-5-5.
Wait, no, we're not. Toronto's not involved in this.
We didn't even talk about Nylander and his or not Nylander. Yeah, Nylander and his
contract
extension.
Yeah.
We were going to talk about that too. But kind of 2 seconds on that.
It's a 2 seconds on that.
He's worth the money, but I really don't know how Toronto's going to make that work.
He's worth the money, yes, but yeah, that's about to be really tough. And I'm a little sad. I was kind of hoping he'd make it to free agency, and we might at least take a shot at him. But
no, there was no chance he was getting to free agency.
I know. Hey man, look, Oh, hey, we got Sean chiming in. Sean, we're getting new listeners. I love this. Yeah, Sean chimed in before.
Going back to Wallstedt.
It's going back to Wallstedt. So I kind of disagree. The stakes at this point are pretty low. Even if Wallstedt gives up 4 or 5 on the road, it's not really a big deal. He knows it's a temporary call-up. Honestly, I agree with Sean.
I get that, but also I want my young prospect goaltender, who is one of the best, if not the best, goaltending prospect not currently in the NHL consistently. I want him to get a win in his debut. I want him to start on a confident note. And you're right. He's not playing for a job club this year. Right. We know he's going to be a part of this team next year. He's probably going to be the backup to Gustafsson next year, get a lot closer on the tandem split the year after that. And by 3 years from now, he's going to be 1A. Like he's going, and maybe not even 1A, maybe just 1.
Right.
But I still want to see him set up for success. And just from the standpoint of throwing him to the Wolves against Dallas tonight, it's not a great way to set him up for success. Yeah, he's going to get peppered. Yeah, he's going to see a ton of shots. Yeah, it'll be this is what you need to expect at the NHL level. But I'd like to see just a little bit more to try and at least try and get him a home start for his debut. Because Dallas gets loud, man. They get loud, and they get really loud when they play the Wild. Taking Boston tomorrow night, getting back to picks here.
Mark, I agree. I think Marner might be gone.
Where are you going to move him right now?
I don't know. Just it makes sense. But yeah, Dan, I'm assuming you're picking Boston. Also, yeah, sorry, Mark. I got to go with my secondary boys in the Knights. Otherwise, I would have gone with your boys. And quite frankly, I think the Bruins are going to win. I knew Dan was going to pick the Bruins, so I got to be different.
Yeah. Plus, the Bruins have been pretty good to me on the pick segment. Vegas, not as much recently, so
they've actually been kind of
bad. Vegas was the one that we got wrong last week.
So. Boston's actually been kind of bad to me on the pick segment lately.
Something's got to give.
Yeah. All right.
Next one, New Jersey Devils plus 126 at the Tampa Bay Lightning minus 152. Joel, the big story out of this game is the injury status for Jack Hughes. It was labeled as week to week, but he's not expected to miss months. So, gonna be without Jack Hughes for some time. That is a big blow for the Devils.
I feel so bad for that kid. He was on his way to winning the friggin' Hart Trophy. Like I said.
It was going to be, like him or McKinnon at this point, just about, unless McDavid really turns it on the second half.
It's kind of fair, actually, and which he is. So, I mean.
Right, but enough to say get Edmonton in front of Colorado in the standings.
And obviously the Jack Hughes injury is affecting it because we were sitting here going, the Devils are going to run the Metro, and they're currently 5th in the Metro. So, to be fair, I didn't expect the Islanders or the Flyers to be playing the way they are right now. So, oh man, this is tough. What is Tampa's record at home?
Well, you're looking that up. I got to tell you, Nikita Kucherov is quietly having such an outstanding season. Like, I don't think people are talking enough about how good a year Kucherov is having. 41 games, 28 goals, 67 points. He leads the league in points, and he's 3rd in goals behind Austin Matthews and Sam Reinhart. With how shaky things were out of the gates for Tampa with Vasilevsky injured, I think Stamkos was banged up for a bit. Hedman banged up for a bit. Kucherov just keeps putting up points, man. Like, he's so good, and he's having a phenomenal season. And yet, it hasn't necessarily translated for Tampa in the win column. If you treat overtime losses as though they're straight up losses, they've lost more than they've won this year.
Right. Oh, man. All right, so Tampa is 12-5-3 at home. New Jersey is 12-6 on the road. That is dead even. Or close to dead even. But oh, wait, I did that wrong. My bad. I mean, New Jersey on the road is just 12-6. Yeah. I gotta. Oh, yeah, here you go. Yeah, 44 points in 39 games in the Metro is second to last.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Tampa. Safe pick.
Yeah, it was just going around the horn for second to last in the other divisions. Buffalo at 38 in the Atlantic, Minnesota at 38 in the Central, Anaheim at 29. 44 points and being second to last. It's a good division.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go Tampa. The Devils haven't been nice to me on the pick segment lately either, so that's kind of why I'm switching things up a bit here.
Yeah, I'm torn on this one, man.
That's why I picked it. It's a tough one.
When in doubt, take the home team. I'm going Tampa. I'll join you.
Nasty. All right. Okay. See, I actually thought you were going to go different.
Final pick of the night: Edmonton Oilers -170 at the Detroit Red Wings +140. Joel, one thing that really, we were talking about this pre-show, the Red Wings have scored more goals this year than the Oilers. As wild as that is to say, the Red Wings, 144 goals in 40 games. The Oilers, 133 and 37. The per game numbers are close, but I was surprised to see Detroit was that. I shouldn't say too far ahead, but that they were ahead. Like, you think Edmonton, you think all offense. Detroit has been putting the puck in the net this year.
Oh, God, yeah. And you know who's been leading the charge for that lately? Patrick Kane, baby.
DeBrincat.
Patrick Kane. All right.
Literally anybody but.
Yeah, because you don't want to give.
No, I know he's playing all right.
He's washed up. You know what? I'm about to go on a tangent.
There is nothing. There is no joy in this world.
Really?
Kane's playing well. Hawks are getting Celebrini. Wallsted's getting peppered in his debut. Wilder injured. It's a beacon of misery right now. That's where we're at.
Patrick Kane, 14 points in 16 games, only a -3, 1852 ice time. Yeah. Washed.
Tangent time. Mark, it's always tangent time on this show. We have a script and we'll go anywhere.
Damn right. And hey, I will defend my boy. Patrick Kane is still my boy, even though he ain't on my team anymore, and he's on a historic rival. But they're not.
If we had a hard out at the top of the hour, we'd do it, but we don't have to do that.
We're close.
We are close.
But with all that said, and with everything you brought up too, with those stats and these are two high-powered offenses going against each other. I watched that Edmonton team last night live. While yes, the basement running Blackhawks played them hard. Well, hell, basically the Rockford Ice Hogs played them hard, and they only won 2-1. It was 3-1. They had an offsides wave off of a goal, and I actually agreed. McDavid had comments for that goal that got waved off, and I agree with him. No, not just for my bet I had either. Like, I agreed. We were sitting there. They reviewed that goal for close to 10 minutes, maybe. It was a while. And McDavid simply got spicy about it and was like, if you're reviewing it for 10, 15 minutes, like, what the hell's the point? Did it really help then if it's that damn close? No, it didn't. And we had this conversation. We won't go on that tangent, but it should have been 3-1. Actually, probably if that counts, probably more than that. They are on an 8-game winning streak. Oh, so are the Florida Panthers. I actually didn't even know that. And I think they're going to hit 9. They are feeling themselves. So I think they got it.
Here's where I'm at with this matchup. If Alex Lyon is between the pipes, Detroit wins tomorrow night. If it is not Alex Lyon and it is James Reimer, not only am I picking Edmonton to win, I'm picking them to win on the puck line as well and win by at least 2. Let me throw these numbers out at you here. Alex Lyon on the season, 920 save percentage. James Reimer, 889. Alex Lyon goals against, 251. James Reimer, 341. This matchup, it so comes down to who are you putting between the pipes if you're Detroit. It's got to be Alex Lyon.
It's got to be Alex Lyon when you're playing against McDavid and Draisaitl. It's got to be Alex Lyon.
You need your best goalie. Lyon has been your best goalie. But for some reason, they have not wanted to consistently give Alex Lyon starts. And all he's done is come in and stop pucks.
Yes, but let's continue to give the washed up, we'll talk about washed up, James Reimer starts.
Yeah. And like it's not like Lyon is necessarily he's not a young goaltender. He's 31. But he was a late bloomer in terms of his career. He played well in the playoffs last year.
And we talked about the goaltender prime. He's in his prime.
Yeah. So especially when he's playing well, ride the hot hand, let him cook. Oh no, Mark. I had a 9-game money line parlay last night with 8 hitting and the hometown Bruins blowing the bet. No.
Oh my God.
Mark. Oh, that's a brutal beat. I hope you have my insurance on that one.
I feel that pain so hard. Oh my God, that sucks.
9-legger, and he missed it by 1.
By 1. And it's of course one of the best teams in the league and your hometown.
The best team in the league and your hometown team, the team that you're absolutely counting on to win. They
blow it sucks. To the Yotes.
That's a kick in the knackers.
Oh yeah. Oof.
Brutal.
Now you just got to do an 8-leg parlay next time.
There's 8 games tomorrow. Pick 8 winners. Go nuts.
Maybe we should do that. Let's each just throw like $1 on an 8-leg parlay for tomorrow's game.
That would be great if I lived in a state where sports betting was legal.
That's right. You don't, because the South
2 days ago, January 8th was the day that it was like, okay, this is the earliest it can launch. They haven't even approved operators yet. We know who's applied, at least a few of the ones that have applied so far in North Carolina. They're so far behind. They're going to miss the NFL playoffs. They're going to miss the Super Bowl. And the way they're tracking, they're going to miss March Madness. Mm-hmm. Like, it is so bad. And, like, they have until the middle of June to do it. If they putz it out until the entire end, they're going to miss the NBA and NHL playoffs as well.
But, Dan,
they're leaving so much money on the table by not having it together.
But they're saving their state from those degenerate gamblers that'll take away the Southern
But they're
charm.
Not, though, because they already approved it.
Yeah, exactly.
They're so dumb. So dumb.
Speaking of which, who are you picking?
I'm going to pick Edmonton because we do these picks in advance, and I don't trust that they're going to put Alex Lyon between the pipes. They've been so sporadic with how they want to use him this year. I can't trust that they're going to do that. So we have our rule, which we've done on this show before, where it's like, if this player plays, I'm taking this team. We don't do that here. We just do the pick with the information that we have today. Tomorrow's information, I mean, maybe it changes things, but for the purposes of this pick on this show, I got to go Edmonton.
No. And it's funny, too. We made the little joke earlier with the whole Yzerman versus Iserman thing. Mm-hmm. The whole Yzer plan, I guess it involves a washed-up goaltender getting half your starts.
You know, GMs manage the team from a roster standpoint. Coaches do what they're going to do from a coaching standpoint.
Do you really actually believe that?
To a degree.
I mean, I do to a degree too, but
it's tougher when you have, say, the NHL roster where you have 23 guys that you can have on your active roster and 20 play on a given night. It kind of gives a little bit more of, these are the guys we're giving the opportunities to.
But to be fair,
it's
not copywriting, right?
No.
Good. Plenty of organizations still do that though, where they get the little call from above, like, hey, you make sure Leo Carlson gets load managed.
Mark traveling to Charlotte in February. Ooh.
Oh.
I'll let you, boy.
Oh.
Let me know when we'll get connected.
Show fan interaction drinks.
Absolutely. First round's on me.
Oh.
That's how we do it here. Hospitality.
Love it. All right. Well, to recap then, I'm taking your job this time. To recap, Dan and I both are taking Edmonton over the Red Wings.
Mm-hmm.
We both took Tampa. So we're both
Correct.
taking Tampa. And I took Vegas and Dan took Boston.
That's how we roll.
That's how it is. Dan, is there any 2 minutes for roughing tonight from you? I feel like I gave mine during the Gauthier trade talks. So
mine is don't be a dick on social media. And that's exactly what yours was in that segment too. So don't
nothing.
Remember the person. Remember the person on the other end of that message. That's the only way I can really sum it up. These are actual people. You're not screaming into a void. Like, people will read messages. They'll read your tweets. They'll read your whatevers. Like, it's so easy to not be a jerk.
It's a lot easier to be nice than it is to be a dick.
Yeah. And if you find that being an asshole is easy for you, like, check yourself. That simple.
Mark giving us a shout out on Twitter. We appreciate that. Becoming a must view every week. Good hockey talk.
Let's go.
Mark, you are my favorite human. Sorry, Mateo. You got some rival. You got a rivalry going now. Mateo was my favorite human for a while. Actually, Joey was too. All right. I might have just opened it. Oh boy, I just dug a hole.
What's the best advice when you're in a hole?
Keep digging.
Quit digging.
Keep digging until you end up on the other side.
Next show will be next Wednesday, January 17th, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central. Thank you to everybody who tuned in, commented throughout the show. We appreciate so much. Like, subscribe, follow. You know where to find us. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. He's Joel. I'm Dan. Enjoy the rest of your night, everybody.